Natascha Kampusch's story, told in her book 3096 Days, is a true account of her kidnapping and survival. At the age of 10, Natascha was on her way to school in Vienna, Austria, when a man named Wolfgang Preklöppel abducted her. This was in March 1998, and what followed was an unimaginable ordeal that lasted for 8 years, or 3096 days. Wolfgang Preklöppel took Natascha to his house, where he had prepared a small, windowless cellar hidden under his garage. This was where Natascha would spend most of the next 8 years. The room was just over 5 square meters, and it became her prison. The room was soundproof, and the door was hidden behind a cupboard, making it almost impossible for anyone to find her. During her captivity, Natascha was cut off from the outside world. She had no contact with her family or friends and was forced to live according to Wolfgang's strict rules. He controlled every aspect of her life, from when she could eat to when she could sleep. Sometimes, he would let her out of the cellar to do chores in the house, but even then, she was constantly watched. The psychological abuse was intense. Wolfgang would alternate between kindness and cruelty, making Natascha dependent on him while also instilling fear. He manipulated her emotions, trying to make her believe that she had no choice but to stay with him. This kind of control is often referred to as Stockholm Syndrome, where captives develop feelings of loyalty or affection toward their captor as a survival mechanism. Natascha, however, never gave up hope. She spent years planning her escape, waiting for the right moment when Wolfgang might be less vigilant. Over time, she learned how to navigate his moods and earn small freedoms, such as being allowed to read or watch television. These small acts of independence helped her keep her mind strong. On August 23, 2006, after more than 8 years in captivity, Natascha finally saw her chance to escape. Wolfgang had become more careless over the years, and on that day, he left her alone for a moment while he took a phone call. Natascha seized the opportunity and ran. She managed to find help, and soon after, the police were alerted. Her escape made headlines around the world. It was a huge story because of the sheer length of her captivity and the dramatic way in which she had regained her freedom. Shortly after her escape, Wolfgang Preklöppel took his own life, leaving Natascha to face the challenges of returning to a world that had moved on without her. Reintegrating into society was not easy for Natascha. She had missed out on most of her childhood and teenage years, and now she had to deal with the trauma of her past while trying to live a normal life. The media attention was overwhelming, and she struggled with the public's perception of her. Some people couldn't understand why she hadn't tried to escape sooner, not realizing the complex psychological control Wolfgang had over her. Despite these challenges, Natascha has worked hard to rebuild her life. She has spoken openly about her experience, not only in her book but also in interviews and documentaries. Her story is one of incredible strength and resilience. It shows how the human spirit can endure even the most difficult circumstances and how hope and determination can lead to survival, even when the odds seem impossible. Natascha's story is a reminder of the importance of not judging others without understanding their experiences. It also highlights the impact of trauma and the long journey of healing that follows such a profound ordeal.